See the fear in his eyes?
Who's that?
Jackson Churio.
Yeah, no doubt.
But now all of a sudden, Jordan Love is consistently in that top 5 quarterback conversation because he is, dare I say, the word elite.
Why are kids staying out to 1:30 in the morning?
It was homecoming.
What is going on at 1:30 in the morning for children?
What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do I mean?
You saw what Jason did there with the 6'7", trying to appeal to the Gen Z people. Always doing that, Jason. I get what you're doing there.
You're so annoying with that.
What?
This is Sunday Karma, powered by ESPN Wisconsin. Broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue. Alongside Greg Scalzo, Alex Strofe, and Kyle Wallace, here's Good Karma Brand's founder and CEO, Craig Karmazin.
Oh, does this mean the show started? Welcome to the show. It is Sunday Karma, back with you with no Kyle Wallace. We got the emergency call from Kyle saying he was out, that his cousin was off to the show. So if you are watching today's game between the Dallas Cowboys and the Denver Broncos in Denver, Kyle's cousin, former Badger, former Michigan State Spartan, linebacker, named...
Come on, you know it.
Named?
Are you asking?
Yes.
Trophy?
It's Jordan Turner.
Jordan Turner.
Will be active in his first ever game for the Denver Broncos. And they have a great defense. So for him to be active on that team, and, you know, maybe it's more special teams, but that's cool. So good luck to Kyle, the whole family, heading out to Denver for the game today.
And also, you know, you've got Jimmy Leonard as well, who's helping out quite a bit there as a coach on the staff for the Denver Broncos.
Yep. So good connection there, and great way to start the morning for us all. I was not here last week. I was watching the Milwaukee Brewers lose Game 4 in Los Angeles. I was there. It was so bad, by the way. Like, Shohei Ohtani had pitched 4 scoreless innings and had hit a home run, and he came up to the plate, and it was like golf claps, like when he came to the plate. Like, if a starting pitcher had pitched 4 scoreless innings and was coming to the plate in a Brewers, like back when pitchers used to pitch, he would have been getting a standing ovation. If any hitter had hit a home run in a game where the Brewers were up 3-0 and up 1-0 on their solo home run, they would have got a standing ovation. Shohei Ohtani came to the plate, and it was almost like he was just like another player. And then he hit his second home run, and they kind of cheered for that. And then he came to the plate having hit 2 home runs and pitched 6 scoreless innings at that point.
And 10 strikeouts.
And 10 strike. At that point, he got like kind of a standing ovation.
Okay.
But that Dodgers, like, you talk about entitled. Oh my God, that was not a fun place to be. I'll be honest.
Yeah, it's amazing to see how I think all of us even take it for granted still. Like, I still feel like it didn't get the bump that it should have gotten, like, nationally, because we've seen Shohei kind of do this as an MVP. But the idea in our lifetimes that we're seeing somebody throw a league championship series game, 6 scoreless, 10 Ks, 3 home runs in a game.
Did you see him interviewed about
unfathomable.
it? Did you see him interviewed about it? When he said, like, when they asked if it was his best game?
No, I did not see it.
He was like, I'm just really disappointed I couldn't get out of the 7th inning. That they had to take me out, and I couldn't get out of the 7th inning scoreless. Like, he might be AI. I mean, my daughter brought that up to me. Like, is there a chance he's AI?
He basically, it's like what I used to do when I would play video games when I was 12 years old. You'd create this unbelievable player that was the best pitcher and the best hitter. And
well, that's what happened in the NBA, because if anyone watched Victor Wembanyama this week, all of a sudden there's a 7'5" guy who like has the skills of like Michael Jordan. You want to talk about AI and video game? We now have 2 of them. We have Shohei and we have Victor to deal with, which is pretty awesome, actually, when you think about it. Just to be living in the times where these guys are this good. It's almost like I'm watching Giannis, and Giannis is like a superhero, and then you're like, uh-oh. what's going to happen when that superhero runs into that other superhero? Because when they ran into each other last year, or 2 years ago even, it was explosive. Now that Victor's a little stronger, it's going to be interesting. Like the NBA is so good right now, and that's where we got to start today. Because I told you, Greg, as much as we want to start with the Badgers, as much as Brad Nortman's clip, which went viral a little this week, and I don't think Tim Brando was calling him out, Strophy. He's not calling Brad Nortman a podcaster. There's a lot of people who are saying things around the Badger program. But I think we start with the NBA, where, to me, I don't know why I'm getting so upset with this one piece. I'm getting upset about two pieces of what went on this week. So first, I'm getting upset about the timing, right? Like that the federal government chose this week to release all of the stuff around this federal investigation and 30-plus arrests and crazy poker game stuff, which is awesome. I feel like, Scalzo, you've played in poker games like this.
Possibly.
Don't incriminate yourself, Greg.
Yeah, which is awesome. No,
I don't know if that's a shot at the Italian-American in the room or not.
No, I
it
just
seemed
feel
like
like
to
you
me.
have that. You've played in some poker games.
I played in some poker games.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
If anybody's got mafia ties here, my money's on you.
No, not my family. That's where my family got its first
So
start.
my money should be on you?
Yeah.
So you are admitting to mafia ties right now.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have them, but yeah, my grandfather's friend.
What do you know about this poker game, Craig?
My grandfather's friend was Meyer Lansky, who was like the Jewish guy who was like kind of connected with the mob, but like he never admitted to being connected. Like if you read it on Wikipedia, it's very tricky. It doesn't make a lot of sense.
Known as the mob's accountant.
Yeah. So anyway, I have the deeper connection there, but I don't want to incriminate the Italian American. Let's not just assume anything when it comes to the mafia. So the timing to me, I didn't love, right? I mean, this has been worked on. Like Terry Rozier, like the bets were pulled that night in 2023 before the game even started. So we needed to, arrest him the week of the first NBA games while we're having the best first week of the NBA maybe ever. So that part bothered me. And then the other part that bothered me are all these people, and they tend to be like even older than me, who are like saying like, oh, this is all because of gambling being promoted on media like FanDuel and DraftKings and Underdog and Prize Picks, and like that's why
Cover
this
five.
is the Cover 5. Yeah, I mean that's why this is all happening, because this is being promoted, and it's exact opposite. Now we're not talking here about the over/under stuff, but the LeBron against the Bucks when Damon Jones said, bet on the Bucks because LeBron's not playing, which, by the way, the two times he did that, once the Lakers won, once they lost, and then Chauncey Billups potentially, allegedly giving a heads up that they were tanking. This is the beauty of legalized gambling. Before legalized gambling, this stuff went on all the time, and there was no way to trace it. Now that we have legalized gambling, all of these bets are registered. So whether it's a low Division I college basketball scandal, which is brewing right now, which will come out, or whether it's something in the NBA or wherever it is, the more you legalize gambling and the more you bring it out of the shadows, the more you have all the analytics, the more you have the real-time data. This stuff that's happening isn't new because DraftKings or Underdog is advertising on this show or because kids are seeing it in games more. I had a parlay card when I was 7 years old that I was filling out every week. I mean, gambling is not new. It's just instead of the guy at my dad's parking garage doing it, it's more legit. And now you can actually have a way to make sure that this stuff is above board.
Look, I tend to agree, right? That's how you catch it, because now, especially as the analytical tools get better.
How would we have caught Terry Rozier before? Never.
You wouldn't have.
But in this case, they had to take those off.
They look at the betting patterns.
They took it off the board before the game even happened. That's how on top of all of these analytics, when all of a sudden someone's betting on unders on Jonte Porter, a a guy on a 10-day contract, which, again, it's dumb that you can bet on a guy on a 10-day contract. It's dumb that you could bet on if the first pitch someone throws is a ball or a strike, which, like, I believe allegedly Emmanuel Clase, right, the pitcher from the Guardians, may have been throwing first pitch balls to send some money back to his family at home. Like, it's dumb that those bets are allowed. So, yes, let's get rid of some of these dumb bets that are allowed, these prop bets that we used to all laugh about at the Super Bowl that now you can actually do and do in real time and are easy to manipulate. So let's get rid of those. We all agree on that. But the idea of legal sports gambling isn't contributing to these, to these things happening where gamblers have knowledge that other people don't have. It's actually solving it in a way that for the previous 100 years of sports, back to the Black Sox scandal, 1919, we had no way to do it.
I agree with pretty much everything you're saying. I do think, though, that piece of it is important as far as those props, because that's really what we're talking about.
Well, that's what we're talking about with Rozier. We're not with Damon Jones and Chauncey Billups. Two of the three guys implicated have nothing to do with props.
Yeah, but you could also go and look through Chauncey Billups and say, okay, how many minutes are certain guys playing? Because if you're a coach, you can affect player props as far as over, under for specific players. And all of a sudden, one guy plays 28 minutes who's normally playing 37
right, but there was no rumors of that. It was just, it was said that he said, hey, we're not going to play guys.
There are rumors about that with Chauncey. Yeah. And there are, what's also amazing is now you see social media and people there catching things in real time, like the Terry Rozier, where it's like, what's going on here? Is he really, is he shaving points or is he intentionally doing this stuff? But those are the sorts of bets that are going to be easily manipulated, and those are the ones that you have to rule out. And when you talk about college sports, that's where things are going to get more problematic, right? Because ultimately, the player who's making $90 million is going to be harder to convince to do something like this than the player that's making $90,000 or $9,000. And the guy at your dad's parking garage didn't take player totals over under. He took the spread, he took the game totals, he took maybe some money line bets, but there weren't these really intricate, granular bets that are very easily manipulated by specific players or coaches.
That is absolutely true, right? Like the fact that Nebraska was minus 45.5 against Kansas State, he wasn't able to manipulate that, right?
No.
He didn't know Tom Osborne.
That's true. Yes, that is true.
But to me, again, the idea that this is new, like the leagues have done such a better job of, having day of injury reports that get updated throughout the day. Like there was such an ability 20 years ago, 40 years ago, to have inside knowledge, to have insider trading, and the markets were so much less efficient than they are now. So to me, we are in the best position because of legal gambling. Gambling has always been going on. Legal gambling has made this less likely to happen. Again, putting aside the prop bet stuff, which I'm with you on, and, there's no reason. And there's no reason to have prop bets on college players at all.
Agreed.
Like I'm saying, I don't care if it's the biggest star in college. We don't need to be able to bet on, if Cam Jones was going to have 3.5 or more 3-pointers in a game. Yeah. Like I would be looking at that on the app and being like, wait, I'm allowed to do this, right? Like, I'm an NBA owner. I'm a limited partner of a team, so I can't bet on anything NBA, but I can bet on college. And here's like some kid who's like in the town I live in, and like I could have known what he did last night, or there's something about prop bets, not just on role players, but on any players in college sports that to me doesn't feel right. And by the way, yesterday I did on Prize Picks, I did a +0.5 on the Stanford quarterback to throw a touchdown and +1.5 on LSU's kicker to have 2 field goals. He only had 1. I did it yesterday on Prize Picks.
Well, basketball, to me, the easiest to manipulate when it comes to any of the things that we're talking about, right? Both from a referee standpoint, which is the other side of this, that we're focusing on the players and coaches. The referees, I mean, we all know the Tim Donaghy scandal, but there's more of that goes on than I think that we realize. And when you really open up the door, some of it isn't as obvious as connecting A to B, but it's, hey, if I call a player like this early in the game, it can limit what he's able to do down in the post. And because it is such a...
I mean, I think the refs could the thing they could most easily impact is over-unders of the game.
Yeah.
You know, based on getting pace of play, getting people in foul trouble, slowing games down, getting people in the bonus early where there's going to be more points. I don't think, again, I don't believe it goes on, in the NBA at all.
Not at all.
I don't believe
Even
at all it
after this
goes on.
week.
I see how closely they get graded every night, every single official now. So I don't believe it goes on.
There are interesting trends. Now, there's always the causation versus correlation piece. Like if you haven't gone through a phase where I would bet referee groups as opposed to teams.
Excuse me?
Like you could go and find
who's reffing which game.
Tony Brothers, the Celtics have, not covered. They've covered 2 of their last 16 games.
So you study refs when gambling.
I had gone through a phase like that.
It was a phase.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
I don't.
We've all
do that
gone
as
through
much.
phases
We've all
in
gone
life.
through
Yeah,
different
that's true.
phases. That was a phase of mine. And for a while there was an edge, and then all of a sudden the odds makers would incorporate like the referees into what they do. But yes, I think that it's probably an even bigger danger because they do have more of a financial incentive. They're not making $90 million over 4 years the way Terry Rozier is.
Yeah. And again, though, the thing that you always wonder once crime, illegal crime gets involved is who knows? Like I read an article yesterday that said, hey, Chauncey Billups, you never know, was he being threatened? Was his did they have something on him? Was his family being threatened? Like what kind of position was he put in to do this? Because that is what happens when you associate with criminals,
organized
right?
crime.
Yeah, and that is why it's really interesting. The NCAA is making it legal for student athletes to bet on sports now. Not to bet on college sports, but to bet on sports. And I actually think it's smart. I actually think it's a smart decision because by making it legal for student athletes to bet on non-college sports, it again brings it out into the public. So it means they're not betting with a bookie, right? Who is all of a sudden some of these shady, all of a sudden, hey, you lost this bet. You owe me $1,000. How about this? How about you have -6.5 goals in that lacrosse game next week, and we'll be good.
And
right?
that's because ultimately when you bet with a bookie, they extend credit to you. And then if you can't pay them back, that's where you get into trouble. Legalized gambling, for those that don't know, you have to pay the bet up front. So you're paying money that you have at least uploaded into account, and then you get paid back if you win.
Well, not only that, but also with legal gambling, there's then records of your betting.
Correct.
So if all of a sudden this kid who goes to Cornell is all of a sudden betting a huge amount on Cornell unders of, some other sport, or even, you would just have records of it. And that's why I think, as crazy as it sounds, it's actually safer to make it legal, because I think it would go on either way. And it went on when I was in college. Like, college athletes were betting on sports. And so it just wasn't legal. I think, you make it legal, at least then you have records and you can see if anything shady is going on.
Yeah. Look, I think that's the case a lot of times, right? Because it allows for regulation. It allows for trackability. Now, you do have to also be aware, because it is that much more available. You have to be aware in terms of educating and, treating some level of gambling addiction, because me and you are talking about this as if like it was really accessible for everybody to bet. I have a feeling me and you grew up in families where maybe it was a little more normalized. And maybe when Strofe went to UW Stout, Stout.
Strofe, when did you when did you first become aware of point spreads?
I was probably like 13, 14.
Point spreads? Okay, yeah.
But like, you probably didn't go to college having somebody to bet with, right?
Oh, no, I did.
Oh, okay.
I had a bookie at like 17.
All right. See, so maybe,
and I never had a by the way, I never had a bookie. I never bet.
Ever?
I've never once in my life bet illegally.
Yeah, me too.
Me too. Me too. Yeah, statute of limitations, I think.
But I think
No,
that
seriously. I mean, now again, I did those parlay cards at my dad's with my dad's parking garage, but that was the extent of it. Now, you just brought up an interesting point. Us as a company, right? We all of a sudden are putting this out there. There's kids listening. How are we as the media culpable in all of this? And I think about it in a way that I think about a lot of the advertisements, right? We advertise carbless, right?
Yeah.
The carbless talk and text line. Less is more. I mean, are we normalizing alcohol? I think, there's things that you need to be an adult to do. Popeyes just became the pregame sponsor of Inside the NBA on ESPN. One of the largest, killers in the country, right, is heart disease. And, fast food is a contributor to that. Like, are we normalizing fast food, right? Like, I think there's so many things that you could say have dangers associated with them. And I don't think just because of that, brands don't have the right to be promoted.
I agree with that, but there's also been decades-long resourcing and regulation around things like obesity and healthcare.
Yeah, that's worked.
I mean, it hasn't, but I'm saying like there is that where like you go and like there's like, tests or alcohol, right? Like that there's a normalized treatment program for that more so than there's for gambling because the popularization of it, legal sports betting has just occurred. Like my dad bet on sports my entire life. So as soon as we start, me and my brother would have this point spreads up and we would alternate picks and that would be who took out the trash for basically my entire childhood.
Yeah.
But he always taught us early on, like never bet what you can't afford. Like that was like beaten into us because he basically was like teaching us how to do this like most parents should. And that generally is where that responsibility comes from of, hey, eat healthy, don't, everything in moderation, but there does need to be resources around it.
Absolutely. And I think that is, again, back to the legal side of it. When these companies do have to advertise, they do have to put a certain amount of additional marketing or dollars toward education around responsible gambling, which I think is good because it is a risk and it is a danger, right? I think the endorphin and adrenaline rush you get from gambling is a dangerous thing, the same way it is. And I don't want to compare one worse than the other, but again, when we talk about sugar and food, if we talk about alcoholism, like these are all dangerous vices that have ravaged families that we all know, right? Like, so we're not like writing this off as stuff that's not real. Like this is stuff that we've all seen up close and has real life impact on families and on people. But again, it doesn't mean that by legalizing it, it's making it worse, right? And that is, I think, one of the questions and the things that we're all looking at. Aaron Rodgers taking on the Pack. Badgers, 12 first-half passing yards. Lots to talk about. It's Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin.
And we'll make our picks.
This is Sunday Karma on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app. Greg Matzek, Gary Ellerson, the day after reaction show you need in your life.
Who benefits the most from Micah Parsons being on the field? Secondary. Keyshawn Nix.
It's Potawatomi Sportsbook Football Mondays with Greg and Gary.
If you're a quarterback, you've got to get the football out of your hands before you really want to do it. I mean, everybody's getting their wealth with this, but to me, I think it's really the guys in the secondary.
Live from the Potawatomi Sportsbook Studios from 6 to 8 p.m. every Monday on 94.5 ESPN.
Homer for Window Nation. It's October, and if you've got old windows, that means you're back to dealing with chilly air seeping into your home. Eliminate annoying drafts once and for all with Window Nation in Milwaukee. This month, buy 2 windows, get 2 for free, plus pay nothing for 2 years. With the holidays coming up, it's a big deal, and they can do it so quickly. Don't miss out on free windows and 0 payments for 2 years with Window Nation, proud partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Visit windownation.com before October 31st to get started.
Change your grocery game plan to locally owned Century Foods, home of the best meat, freshest produce, and tastiest treats.
Now through Wednesday, save on 24-pack Essential Everyday Spring Water, $3.99. 15 to 150 count selected varieties Solo Cups, plates, or bowls, $3.99. 13 to 22 ounce selected varieties Farm Rich Appetizers, $5.49. 14 to 16 ounce selected varieties Daisy Dips, sour cream, or cottage cheese, 2 for $5.
I am starving.
Oh, no, never walk into a Century when you're hungry.
Unless it's free sample day. Ooh, wow, pizza, yes. I'd love to try that one.
My husband thinks he can make a meal out of grocery store samples.
Need to wash this down. I think I see someone handing out samples in the liquor department.
Geez, can we focus on our list?
What's this?
It says you can win 2 tickets to Green Bay's home game against Chicago on December 7th.
Or autographed footballs, or a 4-pack of Green Bay Hall of Fame tickets.
You have to enter through Century's Facebook or Instagram.
I'll be entering this on my phone in the deli next to that cheese sample station.
Enter by November 12th.
Penalty flags? Not here. Carbless is the clean play that every football fan can agree on. With 0 sugar, 0 carbs, and just 100 calories, you get all the flavor without the penalty. Whether you're tailgating outside the stadium, hosting a crew at home, or watching solo in your lucky jersey, Carbless brings premium cocktails right into the huddle. Made to be refreshingly delicious and game day ready, Carbless keeps fans cheering from kickoff to the final whistle. So this season, skip the sugar, skip the carbs, and make the winning call. Find your bliss with Carbless.
Goldsmiths are essential to running a jewelry store, but they're extremely hard to find.
Goldsmiths can repair jewelry, set diamonds, resize rings, and create beautiful, one-of-a-kind pieces of custom jewelry.
Most jewelry stores do not have an in-house goldsmith.
But Kessler's has 18 wonderful goldsmiths working in our 9 Kessler stores.
The average Kessler's goldsmith has more than 15 years of full-time experience.
And that's not counting all the apprentice goldsmiths and jewelry designers.
Our goldsmiths repair a lot of jewelry that we did not sell.
Bring us your broken jewelry and we'll bring it back to life.
When you see a woman with an extremely attractive, very distinctive engagement ring,
you can safely assume that it's a custom-designed, one-of-a-kind ring made by the goldsmiths at Kessler's.
When your relationship is special, you need a special engagement ring.
If you want something that's breathtakingly one-of-a-kind,
come to Kessler's.
For the location of the Kessler's nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Bucks basketball is back, and it's time to play. There's nothing like the energy inside Fiserv Forum. The roar of the crowd, the freakish slam dunks, the buzzer-beating threes. Catch the Bucks at home against New York Tuesday, October 28th, and Golden State Thursday, October 30th. And with the addition of Miles Turner, this season is set to be electric. Get in on the action with a ticket plan that works for you. Don't miss a moment of the excitement. Get your seats now at bucks.com/tickets. That's bucks.com/tickets. Now see your favorite 94.5 ESPN show streaming on video. Subscribe to ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube and get notified when we hit the air live. Plus, you can watch back any second that you miss. Watch, listen, interact. ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube. You're listening to Sunday Karma on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
From inside the building is that he has zero. Not only hasn't done it. There's no engagement with the alumni, the former players, or Wisconsin high school coaches. There's no interest in doing it. Every high school football coach I talk to, there is no relationship with Coach Fickle or any of the coaching staff. There is zero intention to try to keep Wisconsin kids in the program. There's no interest in it.
That was Brad Nortman earlier this week on Kyle Bruston Nortman. I think that was Monday. And Badgers lose last night, 21-7. We'll hear Tim Brando's thoughts on what's going on in Wisconsin. And last week, all the Rose Bowl teams got together. Greg, did you get a chance to talk to any of those kids? The players who won Rose Bowls under Barry Alvarez? They got all those teams together. Must have been some interesting and awkward moments, you would think, right?
I would think, yeah.
I mean, as they were all together talking about those legendary teams, and Chris McIntosh, part of the program in such important ways throughout, and now as the director of athletics.
I think there's such a deep, immense respect for
Mac.
From the alumni base, especially
that's
those
what
players.
I'm saying makes it awkward, because it's not like they would just be like, oh, the current administration, because they love Mac and they respect Mac and they know that Mac cares so deeply about this university and the football program.
I think that it's easy for the narrative to kind of turn into what it is now, but it's one of those situations where I don't think bringing Fickell in was the wrong decision at the time.
I don't think anyone thought that.
It ended up that it hasn't worked,
Yeah.
and now you have to acknowledge it hasn't worked, and you have to decide if you're confident in Mac to be the guy to make that next decision, which, again, if we felt like the first decision was sound.
Now, are you saying the next decision is on Fickell or on who the next coach is?
On who the next coach
Yeah, it sounds like the latter, but
there's no way that
he's made it pretty clear that decision's not coming anytime soon.
As far as what?
As far as changing the head coach.
Yeah.
By releasing that letter this week, that tells me it's going to be at least another full season.
I don't know.
Well, and I think that's where we're going. Okay, how about this? We got Jason Wilde coming up because it's Packers versus Aaron Rodgers. Greg and my DMs are open, and by that, we don't have social media like that. But if you were a player who was at that reunion last week, text us and let us know what went on, and we'll share it anonymously with everybody as we continue with Sunday Karma. Wilde next. We're talking Packers Steelers, ESPN Wisconsin.
You're listening to Sunday Karma on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Hey, it's Brad Nortman, and when it comes to my home, I want a team that I can trust, and that's Lifetime Home Services. From cleaner air and radon safety to custom closets and electrical work, they do it all under one roof. What I'm most excited about right now is their epoxy floors. They make your garage clean, durable, and organized with shelving and storage to get everything off the floor. For over 30 years, families have trusted Lifetime Home Services to make their home safer and better looking. Trusted solution, lifetime results. Schedule today at lifetimehomeservices.com.
Hey, it's Alex Strofe. When it's game day, every detail matters, from the perfect seat on the couch to the perfect spread on the table. For over 125 years, Coops has been bringing incredible flavor to the table with 14 bold mustard flavors that turn good food great and great food amazing. Whether it's brats, burgers, or pretzels at halftime, Coops isn't your ordinary mustard. It's extraordinary mustard. So this football season, bring the bold, bring the flavor, bring Coops. Coops Mustard, spreading the love since 1897.
All you have is one chance after an accident, one decision on who to call, one shot to get the help you need. Don't waste it on the one offer you get from your insurance company. Make the one call to Gruber Law Offices. It's the only one you'll need to make. Call us today. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
They pretty much weren't doing anything. I couldn't ride a bicycle. You don't have your life because you don't have your mobility.
So when Patrick heard about QC Kinetics and their non-invasive regenerative treatments for pain, no waiting, he called them immediately.
There's no downtime. There's no rehab. That was the tipping point for me. I didn't have to take any drugs. I didn't have to rehab.
Before considering surgery, check out QC Kinetics all-natural treatment options that restore and repair damaged joint tissue in your knees, hips, shoulders, and back.
If you have knee replacement surgery, and then the knee is not yours, and there's no guarantee that that's going to be successful.
QC Kinetics. Patients around the country are raving about the results. They're getting back their mobility, taking back their lives with no downtime, no drugs, and no surgery. Don't wait. Call QC Kinetics today for your complimentary consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-667-5559. That's 414-667-5559. 414-667-5559.
Think Verizon, the best 5G network, is expensive? Think again. Bring in your AT&T or T-Mobile bill to a Verizon store today, and we'll give you a better deal. Now, what to do with your unwanted bills? Maybe turn them into paper airplanes headed to See Ya Never AT&T and T-Mobile. Jokes aside, the best 5G network has you covered with the most ways to save on plans, streaming, and phone deals. So bring in your bill to your local Verizon store today, and we'll give you a better deal. Rankings based on Root Metric True Score report dated 1H2025. Your results may vary. Must provide a postpaid consumer mobile bill data within the past 45 days. Bill must be in the same name as the person receiving the deal. Additional terms apply.
Well, good morning, kiddo. I love that you're home from college. I've missed you.
Still taking your nature-made vitamins?
Every day. A multivitamin and a probiotic. You better be taking yours.
Still looking out for me, Mom.
I'll never stop.
Made to care for you every day.
Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Find us in the vitamin aisle, based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
When severe weather hits and the power goes out, do you have a plan? For reliable power and peace of mind, propane can do that. It only takes about 10 seconds for a propane-powered generator to restore power to your home. So no matter what Mother Nature has in store, you know you're prepared. Learn more at wipga.org. This message is sponsored by your local propane provider and the Wisconsin Propane Education and Research Council.
Kyle Broston-Nortman, KBN.
Jordan Love is excited to see what Matthew Golden can do in the game because he's seeing what he can do in practice, and he's like, dang, I don't know if I've ever had a guy like this before.
On 94.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube. This is Sunday Karma on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Kyle gone, and it's like all hip-hop week on Sunday Karma with Alex Strope on the ones and twos. Speaking of the ones and twos and hip-hop, Jason Wilde joins us from Wilde and Tausch and at Jason J. Wilde. Good morning, Jason.
I'm more sixes and sevens than ones and twos.
Yes. Yes, you are. Jason, what's
Craig
been the communication between you and Aaron Rodgers leading into this big game?
Not what I wanted it to be.
Do you care to expand on that?
Wow.
I don't.
Okay.
No, not really. There was a glitch in the Zoom. I didn't get my question asked. And then, much to my frustration, a few of my texts went unanswered, which is not unusual with him. That is how he normally is. I was just telling my neighbor, Paul, who's a big fan of all of our programming, streams it on the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Hey, Paul.
Shout out,
Good
Paul.
morning, Paul.
What's up, Paul?
Yeah, Paul. Awesome, Paul. Love Paul. That the question I was going to ask him in the Zoom call, it's probably a blessing in disguise that from a vibe standpoint, I didn't get the chance to ask it. I was telling Homer and Blue about this that night then when it didn't work out. But it was all, hey, memories, and this is not a revenge game. What do I have to avenge, and all this other stuff, which it was kind of a light and airy kind of 10 minutes that we had with him. Somebody asked him about the time that they were driving back from practice, and he was sitting in the back of somebody's pickup truck, and there was a bunch of cases of beer, and he was holding them up over his head as he was driving. So we got to talk about some of his favorite memories and stuff like that. And when this will be, I don't know if it'll be, someday when he retires or when there's another press availability with him. Maybe when the Packers play the Steelers in the Super Bowl. The thing that I really want to understand is how did the way he handled 2022, and the reason I ended up talking about this with Paul is because he said, don't you wonder what would have happened if he would have just really embraced everything that was happening, and he was coming off back-to-back MVPs. If he'd had a different attitude and approach in 2022, couldn't he have forced Goody to actually trade Jordan Love and keep him? And I thought it was a really interesting question. It's actually the reason why I wanted to ask this on Thursday in the Zoom call is, what did Aaron had said on Wednesday to the Pittsburgh media. Somebody had asked him if he had kind of softened his feelings toward the Packers after maybe how he felt when he left. And he said, well, we all evolve and grow and become better versions of ourselves. And what I wanted to ask him was, how you handled 2022 kind of spur you being a better version of yourself with the Jets and with the Steelers? And what I mean by that is that he did not embrace he came out and flat out said, I don't want to be part of a rebuild. They rebuilt on the fly pretty impressively, I would argue, and they should have made the playoffs in 2022 if they had just won the game at home against a Detroit team that had nothing to play for. He did not embrace the youth movement at all, even though, as it's turned out, they've added some pretty talented cats who you would think could be even better than they've been if they had the great Aaron Rodgers throwing them the football. And then, this year he's not doing Pat McAfee's show, which, look, everybody loves Pat McAfee. He's the content he generates is incredible. But when Aaron Rodgers was on that show, it also created issues inside the building. Far more than Tuesdays with Aaron ever did.
Well, let's be fair. Let's be fair. Tuesdays with Aaron created its share of issues, Jason. Let's not ignore those.
I was just saying that. Mike McCarthy would listen to it every week, waiting for what was going to tick him off.
That's the best part. That's the best part.
Yeah.
Like if we had all said like, all right, Pat McAfee would steal Aaron Rodgers from Jason Wilde, and Jason would be mad, and then Aaron would end up creating this as like the signature place in all of sports media to be, and then he would be replaced in that slot by Mike McCarthy, the guy who hated that Jason Wilde would have Aaron Rodgers on. It's too good.
It is. I don't know if that's irony or what that is, but it's wild. That's for sure. But I would have liked to have gotten, like Tom Cruise says in A Few Good Men. I'd like an answer to the question.
You would have ruined the whole vibes of that, Jason. You would have ruined that press conference. And by the way, he may never have said that he wanted to retire as a Packer. You would have ruined all of it.
Yeah, that's true, because I in talking with my guy, Bert, who is the PR guy for the Steelers.
I thought Bert's your neighbor on the other side. What's up, Bert?
No. That's Andy. Who's also a big fan of our shows, by the way. But, Bert said, I was going to call on you first. Well, that would have put quite the damper on the mood, right? So it's fine. My point was simply, it would have been great. He knew I was trying to get a hold of him. He certainly got the text messages, and I didn't hear back from him. I don't mean that as whining. I mean that as answering the question.
Yeah, and I think with all the emotions going to this week, I think it's smart that he did not reply to you. I don't blame him for that. And I'm excited for this matchup. Aaron Rodgers has had the kind of season, I think, Jason, that you and I both thought he was going to have coming into this year. And I think Jordan Love's had a solid season. I think Packer fans would Packer fans feel slightly disappointed in Jordan Love's performance at this point? Is that how we would define it, Greg?
I think so. I mean, look, I think Packers fans have been hoping for a big elevation in this season, and it still is those spots where you see his potential in terms of how great he can be, but there is still this sort of waiting for him to put it all together consistently week to week. Is that fair to say, Jason?
No, I don't think it is, Greg. Okay. I think, no, I didn't mean that harshly, because I think there's a lot of Packers fans. I think there's a lot of Packers fans that think he's been star-spangled awesome. And if you're critical of him, that you're being unfairly harsh. So that I am inclined to agree with you, although the numbers.
He is 7th in QBR, fantastic. Aaron Rodgers 19th.
I think he's been good, not great.
Right.
Good, not great.
Well, I'm glad to hear that from you, Strofe, because as you well know, and we've talked about this on Weekly Wilde and elsewhere, I think he's been really good for large stretches, no doubt about it. I also think that the reason why, in my opinion anyway, that Arizona game was significant was that he was clutch when he needed to be clutch. And I didn't think, whether it was in Dallas with kind of the way, throwing that check down, right? Throwing that check down to the right to Emmanuel Wilson in overtime when he knows it's supposed to be an O-zone call, which is either out of bounds or in the end zone, and then tick, 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 and they have 1 second left by the time their final attempt at the end zone is over. That merited criticism, right? The way he handled the end of that game. The interception that he threw in Cleveland merited criticism. Now, that doesn't mean he's been crappy this year. It means that in some key moments, when his best was required, he didn't deliver that. And that's what defines the level that Rodgers and Favre and all these other guys have reached. And he's still striving for that, as he should be in year 3 as a starter. Rodgers wasn't that way throughout the entire 2010 season either. So it's not an unfair critique of him. My point is that what happened last Sunday against Arizona, making that throw to Tucker Kraft, that is a clutch moment. Now, after that, Josh Jacobs kind of takes over, right? He has that crazy run that LaFleur admitted was blocked to get -3 yards, and instead I think he gets 8 down to the 1 or 2 yard line, and then he goes in on the next play. But, I think that there is despite his numbers, which are very good, I think there is a much higher level that Jordan has or is capable of. And the critical piece to that is him doing it when the chips are on the table, and it's the most important time of the game. And if he's able to do that, then we're going to be talking about how he's elevated his game even further.
There's been 5 quarterbacks who've been playing this year who are really playing better than him in the NFL. That's it. that is impressive.
But again, like we're talking about
QBR. QBR, he's ahead of Herbert. He's ahead of Goff. He's ahead of Stafford. He's ahead of Mayfield. He's ahead of Josh Allen. Like those guys, he's better than this year.
You're also cherry picking a stat in terms of QBR, and I know how much you revere the QBR statistic, but they're a middle of the road offense, right? If you look at total offense, they're literally in the middle of the NFL, and it doesn't feel like when we've talked about Jordan Love and the potential for him to be, I mean, heading into this year, he was a dark horse MVP candidate. Like, I'm not saying he's
By
not
the way,
good,
he still is today.
But the expectations.
Are you saying he's not today?
I think, sure, I think you could.
I mean, they're 4-1-1.
Dark horse would be the right word.
They're
but after the
4-1-1.
first two
Daniel
games,
Jones has the only better record than the Packers in the NFL.
After the first 2 games, we're sitting here saying, you know, this is a Super Bowl team, and they still could
is.
be.
I'm saying if they go 13-3-1, you can't. And Jordan Love ends up with 36 touchdowns and 6 picks. The guy's going to win the MVP.
In that scenario, he's very much in the conversation.
He's gonna
but the only reason they have a 1 is because of him and a poorly timed interception in the loss column.
I don't know.
The block kick obviously played a role too. But like, could they be 6-0 had he elevated to MVP
Right, but
level?
no one in the NFL is good. There's not a good team in the NFL. I mean, Greg's going to say the Patriots are good, but there's no good teams in the NFL.
The Chiefs might have turned a corner. That's the only team I'd make an argument for.
Right, but I'm saying you're going to say the Chiefs, but they're like 500, right?
They lost what? They started 1-3, I think it was.
I mean, so Kansas City
is the expectation for Jordan Love to be a hey, he's going to be a top 15 quarterback or a top 5 quarterback? Because I thought we came into this year saying we think he could be a top 5 quarterback.
Closer to the latter.
No. We came into the year saying he's probably around number 12, 13 when we went through all of them.
The elevation that you'd want to see this year
is toward the latter. I agree.
I don't think so. I think if he's a top 10 quarterback, they should be in the NFC Championship.
Okay, if that's the guidelines that we're judging him on, then yes,
anything other than that is a ridiculous bar to hold for anybody. I mean, Dak Prescott.
This is the Green Bay Packers quarterback. This is back-to-back first ballot Hall of Famers.
It's back-to-back one Super Bowl win over 13-year careers. So I think what everyone's realized is, who cares if they're revered as the best quarterback in the NFL? Can they lead a winning program, which Jordan Love is doing right now? That's the pause for you to get in, Jason.
Yeah, no, thanks. I appreciate you including me. Look, I think you make a very reasonable case. And I think what we're talking about here, and I tend to agree with Strofe and with Greg, is that if we're going to put him, because look, I am telling you in my interactions with fans, the expectation, the belief, and I don't know if that's just because that's what they want to be true, but there's a segment of the fan base. There's also a segment of the fan base that thinks he stinks, and that's just preposterous.
Agreed.
You're wrong about that. He does not in any way, shape, or form stink. Is he a Hall of Fame caliber player? Obviously not at this point. But is he capable of that? I don't know what he's capable of. But I have seen him, and Strofe, we were talking about this, I think, on Weekly Wildy. Like, remember the old days when I would come on the air after watching yet another practice, and we would talk about, hey, I don't see any wow throws. Mm-hmm. Well, you see wow throws from him now, which is part of his development into being the guy not that you win with, but the guy that you win because of. And I don't think he's at the point yet where he's the guy you win because of. Now, does that mean you can win a Super Bowl with a guy you can win with? Absolutely you can. Is he the kind of quarterback right now that if you do the other things at the other spots and your defense plays at a higher level than it played at many times with Aaron Rodgers as the quarterback, they can win the whole blanking thing? Yes, I do believe that, without a doubt. But again, to me, the hurdle that he has left, and I don't think it's unfair, and frankly, I would like to talk to Jordan about this at one point and have him, kind of break down how he views this part of his game, is delivering in the most critical moments. He had a big-time throw to Matthew Golden 2 weeks ago. Remember where he's moving to his left?
Yep, that was big.
It was an enormous throw. That's a clutch play, again, in a game that's back and forth, right? And then he has the throw to Tucker Kraft in Arizona. To me, those are indicators that part of his game is starting to come on. And if that continues, and he continues to make those types of plays in those types of moments, then I firmly do believe that the cliche of the sky's the limit actually applies to him. He's not there yet, but that doesn't mean he can't get
on the Packers, to your point, Jason, best third down offense in the league. And that's to me is the most exciting stat for somebody like Jordan Love, because if you can just keep the ball, that's, that generally wins the game.
We will have more with Jason Wilde as we continue. It's Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin.
More Sunday Karma coming up on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app. You said people came to Lambeau to play with you then.
Green Bay isn't, a huge vacation destination. People are coming here to play with me.
Now they come to Green Bay to play with 10.
Love stepping up, throwing in. Bill Watson, touchdown Packers.
Get everything you need for the Packers matchup against Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers right here. 94.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
It's the final days of the fall trade-up event at Cunis. With winter on the horizon, trade up now to a new safe and reliable vehicle. We're offering top dollar for trades. We'll do whatever it takes to get you into a great new ride. At your nearby Milwaukee Metro Cunis locations in Oak Creek, Greenfield, and Hope Chevrolet on West Metro Auto Mall. Don't miss the last 2 weeks of huge discounts on the most popular cars, trucks, and SUVs from Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC. Shop over 600 pre-owned vehicles under $20,000 and over 150 under $10,000. Plus, you can buy 3 tires and get 1 for $1 just in time for winter.
I'm Brian Bohm, General Manager of Cunis of Oak Creek.
And I'm Bill Eater, General Manager of Cunis of Greenfield.
We would like to invite you to take advantage of these great monthly specials.
And remember that your vehicle will be covered by our exclusive No Fear lifetime powertrain warranty included with new and qualified pre-owned purchases.
Call or stop in today for your VIP appointment.
Don't miss the final days of the fall trade-up event. Start your search online at CunisMKE.com.
Looking to heat up a career in HVAC? Dick & Trough Heating and Cooling in Milwaukee is now hiring HVAC installers and service technicians. Family owned and operated, Dick & Trough offers competitive wages, a 401k match, health insurance benefits, and a winning, positive team culture that sets them apart. This is more than a job. It's a chance to grow with a company that truly values its people. Apply now to become their newest team member at dickandtrough.com. Dick & Trough Heating and Cooling. Come see the difference. Apply at dickandtrough.com.
Turn those hoop dreams into reality with Precision Sports, your one-stop shop in southeastern Wisconsin for Mega Slam, Ironclad, and Dominator basketball hoop systems, installation of new or old hoops, and completely customizable painted court lines. PrecisionSportsOnline.com.
At Heart of Canal Street, for over 30 years, our hearts have been set on making a difference for children in our community. Now through December 10th, we invite you to share your heart by playing the Canal Street Bingo game at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. Every time you play this special bingo game, you're helping to raise funds for children's charities in southeastern Wisconsin. Learn more at potawatomi.com/heart.
Green and gold fans, it's game day. And you know what that means. Tailgating with friends and raising a glass to our favorite team. This season, make Bacardi the star of your pregame party. Whether you're mixing up a classic Bacardi and Cola, refreshing Bacardi Lime and Soda, or a smooth spiced and Cola, Bacardi is the perfect pick for game day fun. Grab a bottle and get ready to cheer on Green Bay with the best in hand. Available now at your local retailer. Live passionately, drink responsibly. Bacardi USA, Miami, Florida. Run 40% alcohol by volume.
Bucks basketball is back, and it's time to play. There's nothing like the energy inside Fiserv Forum. The roar of the crowd, the freakish slam dunks, the buzzer-beating threes. Catch the Bucks at home against New York Tuesday, October 28th, and Golden State Thursday, October 30th. And with the addition of Miles Turner, this season is set to be electric. Get in on the action with a ticket plan that works for you. Don't miss a moment of the excitement. Get your seats now at bucks.com/tickets. That's bucks.com/tickets.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Station updates, show clips, and your place to interact with us every single day just by scrolling through your feed. Follow along on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at ESPN Milwaukee. This is Sunday Karma on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Continuing with Jason Wilde as we've been breaking down a lot of Jordan Love and a little Aaron Rodgers, but maybe a lot of more Jordan Love than I would have thought today. As I guess as a fan base, it's interesting, right? Because I think before the year, a bunch of us would have said, okay, this is where he is, and this is where different quarterbacks are. But I think we could all acknowledge that probably the best quarterback in the NFL this year has been Dak Prescott, who we were kind of mocking and saying was not elite, especially without CeeDee Lamb coming into the Packers-Cowboys game. So I think that's how unpredictable and interesting this NFL season has been, that the two best quarterbacks in the NFL, I think arguably, and it's tough to argue though, have been Dak Prescott and Daniel Jones.
I think you could throw Patrick Mahomes in there. You could throw Baker Mayfield in there.
Oh, I mean, Patrick Mahomes with his are you just talking about in his wins? No, and Patrick Mahomes, by the way, I thought was actually good in some of the losses. They had everyone was hurt on their team.
Yeah.
So I would agree Mahomes has been good, and he's been very good fantasy-wise, and Baker Mayfield's dealt with a lot of injuries. Just saying the two best quarterbacks have been Daniel Jones and Dak Prescott.
Yeah, don't you guys think, and I was thinking about this the other day because somebody had some stat about Daniel Jones, and I was like, wow. Isn't that a testament? And I don't know Brian Daboll. I don't know how the Giants are run, but isn't that just further evidence of Tausch's theory about his own career and many others, that you are so dependent on, if not going to a great situation, at least going to a good one or a serviceable one where your ability, I was thinking about this too with Rodgers, because somebody asked me, when you look at Rodgers' career, how does it turn out if he goes to San Francisco with the number 1 overall pick? And I had that conversation with him back when we were doing the show. And he, of course, which you have to have this level of confidence to feel this way, was like, look, I have the same career no matter what. Somehow my career works out the way it has, and my talent comes through. And I was like, I don't know, bud. Alex Smith had 5 different coordinators his first 6 years. That was a tough deal for him to be in. And if you look at what he did later in his career, you think, hey, maybe this guy, had he fallen in a more had a softer landing into the NFL, sitting for 3 years and not, having David Carr happen to you. I don't know. And so when I look at Daniel Jones, I just feel like, how good could he have been in a different situation? And then on top of that, I find myself when I was watching I know that's what caused it. I was watching the Vikings the other night thinking, these guys had Sam Darnold, who I know was not very good down the stretch for them, and they had Danny Dimes on their team. They're the ones who picked them up after the Giants got rid of them.
But isn't that
both those guys?
Can't you argue that made him good? See, I've always said Baker Mayfield was inordinately helped by his time with the Rams. He went and it was brief. Mm-hmm. And even though we didn't see it with the Panthers totally, that being with Sean McVay and seeing some of those other coaching may have helped Baker. Don't we think that maybe helped Daniel Jones that time also, and seeing this, not just where he is with Indianapolis, seeing that coaching in Minnesota, which we know is good quarterback coaching?
Sure. No question. The question I have is how much of an effort did they give to keeping him, and how much interest did he have in being in the position of, hey, if this kid who missed the entire season with his knee injury and J.J. McCarthy falters, I'm going to be the starter here in Minnesota because they're moving on from Sam Darnold, and I'd have Jay Jettis and Jordan Addison and T.J. Hawkinson to throw to. It's worked out great for him in Indianapolis, so it's not like he's sitting there going, gosh, I should have stayed in Minnesota. So you don't think the people in Minnesota are saying, holy cow, this is what Danny Dimes is doing in Indy, and he could be doing that for us instead of watching Carson Wentz go through a game where he looks like he's in excruciating pain the whole time, and the only people that are feeling more pain are the Vikings fans watching it?
I mean, it feels like Minnesota has their blueprint if we're going to take highly drafted quarterbacks and try to, treat them as reclamation projects. And it worked with Darnold, and it certainly, worked with Danny Dimes, even though he ended up doing it elsewhere. And I think they could do it with Wentz. But
I don't think they. I think they're just committed to McCarthy. I think Wentz
are
was.
They committed to McCarthy though? Developing.
Don't you think they would have kept Sam Darnold if they weren't?
They kind of benched him, and I guess maybe they're playing it off as the injury for McCarthy, but it seems like they...
I think it's the injury for McCarthy.
I think they're scared that he's not any good.
Yep, I'm Team Jason here.
I think they're scared that he's not.
I agree with that, but I'm saying now they've seen him, outside of one unbelievable quarter that he played against the Bears.
Yeah. That was a fun one.
Be pretty unimpressive, in the rest of his play to this point. But
agreed.
But at the time, they had Sam Darnold, who we've seen to be. What do we call Sam Darnold? Just a credible NFL quarterback? Like that's what he's proven to be again?
I think he's actually better than serviceable based on what he's doing in his first year in Seattle.
He's been solid there, yeah.
Like he's been good there.
Right.
He won 14 games last year in Minnesota.
But what we're talking about with Jordan also applies to him, right? Like at the end of the year, when it was the most critical time, he didn't play well. He didn't play well against the Lions in the, get the number one seed or go home game, right, to end the season. And they didn't play well in their playoff game, which is probably why they were like, okay, we're not, they could have franchise tagged him, and then they would have had some options. But it's again, you're judged based on what you do in the most important moments. And Jordan is trending in the way of saying, hey, this guy comes through in the clutch. The last 2 weeks, he's shown that. And we'll see what Sam Darnold does, again, late in the season when the Seahawks are counting on him to deliver.
Darnold 6th in QBR, Love 7th in QBR.
6-7.
It feels like the middle class of the quarterback in the NFL is so much better than it used to be.
So much better. I'm with you.
Things are just less top-heavy where it used to be you needed one of these 5 or 6 guys, but now that middle class is so expansive where you can get away with the Darnold or,
And is that the systems? Is that like the development of the, look, this is the other argument about Love that people have, right? Is that, this is one of the reasons why when I look at Rodgers, I was telling this story this week that I remember when the Vikings played the Rams on Thursday Night Football during the 18 season. And Pete Doherty from the Press-Gazette and I were talking about it because he had a one-on-one with Rodgers that same week, and he had the same exact conversation, that there was this, oh, my God, I watched that game. I was standing in the locker room. It was a Friday, so it's kind of a laid-back vibe in there, and guys are just sort of putzing around. And it was me, the not important person in this equation, Cobb, Adams, and Rodgers. And I was talking to Cobb and Adams about it by the bank of lockers for the wide receivers. And Rodgers happened to come by during the conversation. And I had said to Devontae, I was like, oh, because they were all frustrated with Big Mike's offense. The win your one-on-one and get the ball to the guy that gets open. And I was like, hey, there's guys wide open running everywhere. And Adam said, can you imagine what we could do if we were in that offense? And I was like, oh, boy, this is not good for Big Mike. And then Rodgers came over, and it was like this little kaffeeklatsch about how great this offense is. And while Rodgers certainly was resistant to change initially, and then they kind of made this hybrid offense of what he wanted to do and all of LaFleur's principles, You saw what happened in 2020 and 2021. So I would argue that the floor has been raised for all quarterbacks that get to play in systems that are effectively scheming guys open, and there's far more of those today than there were 5 years ago.
Yeah, and you look at it now, you also see guys coming in and being credible right away, right? Like Jackson Dart. Like we've spent half the year bashing the Giants, right? For that all the players go other places and then are good. What does it say about a guy who could actually be good on the Giants, like who's a rookie? So, right. I mean, there's a lot of people playing well. Like I think
it's interesting about him and Bo Nix last year is they played so much college football. So, like, they've had all this experience where they come in and they're pass-heavy offenses versus 15 years ago when, like, there's a lot of schools that didn't let their quarterback sling it around. And now you've got, Bo Nix, I think, started for, like, 7 years in college. And Jackson Dart started for 6 years in college. And they've had a career before they enter this.
But then you end up...
And the game is a lot more alike, too, in college now.
And the guys who you're worrying about now aren't even the guys who are losing, right? I think you're hearing people... Is Michael Penix, who I know is out today with the injury, they're 3-3. Is Caleb Williams, right? Caleb Williams, even though they've won, they've won a lot of games,
Four
right?
in a row, yeah.
Four in a row after starting 0-2. Only 2 interceptions in those 4 wins, but is Caleb Williams good, right? Like, I think people still have those questions with guys who are winning games right now, like even Jordan Love, right, at 4-1-1. So I think tonight the Packers have to win. And I know that sounds weird, but I don't think the Steelers are very good. They're a team that on the margins finds ways to win against mediocre NFL teams, and they always end up winning 9 or 10 games because they're just so well coached and they execute well, and now they have a really smart quarterback, but we saw them carved up. And I know we try to not read too much into Thursday Night Football. We saw their defense carved up on Thursday Night Football. So I think if the Packers are not able to consistently move the ball and don't consistently score, and Jordan Love doesn't look really good, and Aaron Rodgers wins, I think things look bad. But I don't think that's what's going to happen. As much as I'm a big Aaron Rodgers believer, I think the Packers are just the better team. I think the Packers win. And I think people are like, all of a sudden after this week, they're like, wait, the Packers are 5-1-1. Mm-hmm. When did we write the Packers off? Because they tied the Cowboys, and the Cowboys have scored against everyone. Why did we write the Packers off? That's what I think is going to happen tonight. Jason, where are you?
I think Rodgers is going to beat him.
Wow.
I think Rodgers is going to play really well, and probably going to pick on Nate Hobbs, who got a dreaded vote of confidence from both the head coach and the defensive coordinator. I think it's going to be a back-and-forth game. I think you're going to see Jordan Love play really well, too. But I think it's going to be a high-scoring game that the Steelers are going to win in the end. And I think the last time the Packers won in Pittsburgh was 1970, which has nothing to do with anything tonight other than how crazy that is, right? Because it's not like they play there every year. But, again, I'm going to say that, and then it's going to be like a 20-17 game or something like that, and both quarterbacks are going to throw picks. Who knows? But I hope I'm right. I hope it's a come down to the last possession, back and forth, light up the scoreboard game. I was there in 2009 when Rodgers played there, and they ended up losing to Big Ben like 37-36 or 38-37, something like that. And that was a really fun game to cover. So maybe it'll be like that again. Rodgers did think – somebody asked him about that game, and he did his kind of show off his unbelievable memory type deal. And I saw some different people on social media knitted that together with the actual plays from that game. But what was funny was we asked Jeff Hafley about it, about the last time he faced Rodgers, and it was as the defensive backs coach for the 49ers. And he did the same thing with that game that Rodgers does with games. It was like they're 2 peas in a pod, the fact that the Packers defensive coordinator can do that. So I'll be curious to see if he has a plan to slow down a guy who's played really well, even at age 41.
Jason, before we let you go, who's kicking tonight, and any other injury stuff that's interesting?
Yeah, good question on the kicking. I don't know. I know that Matt LaFleur said that Brandon McManus said he felt good when he kicked on Thursday, which was the first time he'd kicked since the injury occurred. I think it's noteworthy, though, and I don't think it's just because they see him as some sort of trade asset, although that's probably true, too, that they did not cut Lucas Havrisik to make room for Watson today, that they cut Ben Sims, my Chipotle buddy. So it'll be interesting to see if they trust McManus. We also asked LaFleur during the week if he's willing to have both of his kickers active just in case of emergency. He said he would prefer not to do that, but if that's what it takes, that's what he'll do. Because as I learned during that first week before they signed Havrisik, they really don't want Daniel Whelan, who they are thrilled with as their punter, to be forced to kick field goals as well. They think that that puts him in. I got this whole explanation from Bisaccia about how the muscles you use to kick field goals versus punting are different, and you're
that's why he makes the big bucks.
Joint injuries. Yeah, so and a lot of big bucks. So that's a long way of answering.
Yeah. Wait, does that mean Christian Watson 100% is playing? I know he's activated.
Yeah. Yes. Now, will he be in like the 20 snap range? I would guess. Yes. I think they will definitely be cautious with how much he plays. But yeah, he's going. You don't activate him unless you're planning on playing him.
That should be fun. I mean, what's Greg? What do you think's happening tonight?
I mean, the Steelers have the 28th ranked defense and the 31st ranked passing defense. So I'm kind of inclined to go with Jason's theory. If Rodgers will play well, both teams will put up points. I do think, though, that the Packers will end up winning. They are the better team, and I hope it's a back and forth. But I think it would be hard for the Packers. It would be a tough one tomorrow for the Packers to struggle offensively against a defense that just isn't very good.
No, I feel like if they lose, it's because like dumb special teams or weird things like that end up happening. But
it's still like I say all that, and it's still Tomlin at home.
Yeah,
on a
totally.
Sunday night in
That's
Pittsburgh.
what I'm saying.
So
that's my concern right there.
That's to me how they would win, because they would be stuff like that. Yeah. Sophie, you're scared of this game.
I am. You are correct. I picked the Steelers to win. I don't like the idea of going to Pittsburgh on a Sunday night. You mentioned Tomlin. Rodgers, I know he says it's not a vengeance game, but I don't believe him. When you put a chip on that guy's shoulder, he just always comes through, and I think he's going to go bananas tonight against this Packers defense, specifically against Nate Hobbs. And I think it's going to be kind of a shootout, but I think the Steelers are going to win tonight.
Wow.
Well, the most productive quarterback in the history of Sunday Night Football is playing tonight.
That's Jordan Love.
And his name is Jordan Love. Yep.
There you have it. That's why the Packers will win it tonight. All right, Jason, thanks so much.
All right, guys, take care. Be good.
Thanks, Jason.
Wow, it's interesting. I mean, have you seen this version of Strophe? Is it because he grew up? Is this like saying more about how he grew up with Aaron Rodgers, or is this more about his view of the Packers?
Both.
Yeah, I think that,
I know nothing about this team through 6 games. I know nothing about them.
But you know nothing about any team in the NFL. There's no good teams in the NFL.
That is not true, though. I do think offensively this team is still searching for its identity.
And getting Watson back might help,
whereas a lot of other teams, whether they're good or not good, you know what their identity is.
Why do we say that, though? I mean, they scored 40 points against the Cowboys.
I'm not saying they're bad. It's just like
it's not necessarily bad.
Last year was Josh Jacobs was great, and you kind of ran the offense through Josh Jacobs, and they needed Jordan Love to make throws when he needed to make them. This year, it's like they spread the ball around.
Last year, they just had all those turnovers that they caused. Xavier McKinney intercepted like 9 balls in the first 3 weeks, right? Like that's the only difference. Like this team's still 4-1-1, and they've only created 3 turnovers on the year.
Yes.
I'm not saying nobody's saying they're not good, but I do kind of think that there's something to what Strofe says of like you don't know exactly what they are in some game, right?
I think
Micah
their defense
Parsons
is
has
good.
a 3-sack
Is it because last year they crushed Arizona and this year they should have lost to Arizona?
It plays a role, yeah, because I viewed that game last week as, okay, this is your opportunity to beat up on what I think is a bad team.
With a backup quarterback.
But they also don't play anything but close games, Arizona that is. So I really don't know. I think the defense is good. I'm not completely sold on that, though.
They haven't been impressive in their last 4 games.
Outside of Micah Parsons.
It shows how good they are that they've been able to win 2 of those and tie one of those while not having played.
And I think Love's good but not great, or he's been good but not great. Can he be great? Obviously, tonight would be a good opportunity for that, given how good he's been on Sunday Night Football. But yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of this one gives me the EBGBs a little bit.
Best record in the NFC, and you guys are talking about like they've been scrubs the whole year.
No, there's nobody that good.
I know,
right?
But that's what I'm saying. You're comparing that.
But 4-1-1 4-1-1 with a loss to the Browns and a tie with the Cowboys. That's not like the most impressive.
But a win over the Lions.
Yes, correct.
Right. So like, what do you want to lose to the Lions now? Would you be happier? Would you be happier right now? Actually, would you be happier right now if you had beaten the Browns and lost to the Lions? Would that make you happier?
No. Would it make me happier? Are you claiming I'm unhappy?
You are unhappy with the team.
I'm not unhappy.
Yes, with the team. Yes, you are.
Very much you are, yes.
Don't tell me how I feel, Greg.
Well, no, you're saying all the words that show that you're unhappy, and then you're like, no, I swear I'm happy.
I'm the happiest guy alive.
No, we're not talking about your overall happiness. We're talking about your feelings about the team.
Yeah.
You're not happy with this Packers team right now.
Unhappy would be the wrong way to describe it. You got to go to break, Craig.
Well, you're the one who can press the buttons.
Stop psychoanalyzing.
You're the only ones who could send us to break, so I can't do that.
See how uncomfortable he is with the fact that we're on to the fact that
you said you had a bone to pick with me.
I do have a bone to pick with you.
Well, you can pick that bone when we continue. It's Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin.
Your path to a degree should fit your life, not the other way around. At Lakeland University, you can personalize every part of your college experience. With a main campus in Sheboygan, evening classes across the state, and flexible online options, you choose how and when you learn. Just graduated high school, changing careers, juggling work and life, they've got options for you. You can even earn credit for experience you already have, or for the work you're doing now, saving time and money. Start customizing your future today at lakeland.edu/ESPN. Lakeland University. Experience it your way.
My overall experience with Gruber Law Offices has been phenomenal.
The treatment was excellent.
They will be supportive of you. They will listen to you.
It was a great experience knowing that I had people to help me.
I know I could count on them to do what I needed to get done.
Experience with Gruber was great.
They gave me my life back.
It was amazing.
He gets results.
We know how to win. If you've been injured, call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Gruber Law Offices had my best interests at heart.
You live for this. The wins, the losses, the slam dunks, and the buzzer beaters. The dream that this is your team's year. Hope, it's what keeps you coming back. So you represent with anticipation and with pride. Because when everything's on the line, your support means everything. That's why the NBA Store is here to support you. Check out the largest selection of official NBA gear at NBAstore.com. A Fanatics experience.
To help those who want to be helped, but may not be able to afford it.
That's what PGA Tour winner Grayson Murray had envisioned for a foundation before he sadly took his own life at just 30 years old. His parents channeled their grief into creating the Grayson Murray Foundation, carrying out his vision to help those struggling with mental health and addiction. To donate and learn more, visit GraysonMurrayFoundation.com.
Tune in to KBN every day at 2 o'clock. Kyle Bruston Nortman. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
That make the beat switch, turn up, give $1 million to him. Right now, I got so many villas booked on.
You're listening to Sunday Karma on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Strophe going all hip hop today.
I feel like it's laziness. He's just using Kyle's playlist.
You think Kyle makes a playlist? You know what kind of producer he is. Come on, Greg.
Don't you have a folder of music for like the different shows that we do?
For Sunday Karma, you think Sunday Karma has one?
Yeah, I would assume so. This is what, year 20?
I hate to inform you that does not exist.
Okay. Well.
Yeah. No, that was
so, Strophe, you have said you have a bone to pick with me, and you'd be picking it on Sunday morning, and we're all here for it.
Okay, so number one, I want to lead with a compliment. Something I appreciate about you, Craig, is how you go at Kyle and me and make sure we're supporting our local teams, right? Like, how many games have you been to this year, Kyle? You always say that to him, right? And I appreciate that you support our local sports teams, our partners in the Bucks and the Brewers. You're a big fan. You would agree?
Yes.
Good. So Wednesday, NBA season underway. Game 1. We're all gathered at the lovely Fiserv Forum. You were there. I was there.
Yeah.
They do this new thing at the beginning of the game now. Stand until you score. You were the only person in Fiserv Forum sitting until the Bucs scored on Wednesday. I had my eye on you, and I was incredibly disappointed in you. Why weren't you supporting the team?
This is the bone you had to pick with him.
I don't know. I must not have realized that. And they've done, I believe the team's tried to get that going for a few years.
And it just never stuck?
But why? Well, obviously it stuck. If I'm the only one who was sitting, it must have stuck
you were the
really
only
well.
person that I noticed sitting, and I was very disappointed.
It's also a kind of a credit to him that he doesn't have anybody in front of him, so he didn't know that people were standing.
Yeah, I didn't realize.
Well,
and
I thought maybe he was worried he was going to get teed up or something.
Like four or five times. I was sent a number of pictures of me being the only one standing throughout the game, like from people from TV and different things. So I don't know. I felt like I stood and had a lot of. I was very engaged in the game on Wednesday night
until they score,
and was maybe in a conversation and wasn't thinking about it, or was maybe replying to an email or something before the game.
You built this up since Wednesday, Strofe, like as like a bone to pick with Craig. Like, I'm gonna take him to task. Because he didn't stand before before the Bucs
I didn't sit down for the entire 9 innings of the Brewers-Cubs Game 5.
Spirit of accountability.
I didn't sit once. By the way, and Game 2, Brewers-Dodgers, an usher actually threatened to eject me because I would not sit down. And I actually texted Rick Schlesinger, who runs the team, to be like, should I sit or should someone talk to the usher and tell them it's the playoffs? Like, I think I'm a pretty engaged fan overall.
Can we go back to that?
Yeah, but real quick.
What was the response to the text?
I just wanted to say.
He said, I have communicated to all the ushers throughout the entire stadium that they should not be telling people to sit, that we want people standing and engaged in the game.
Sorry, Greg. Go ahead.
I also wanted to make it clear that you weren't like the only one standing. It was the whole section. So you weren't being that like rude of a fan where everyone was sitting and you were just the solo person
I was
standing.
on the aisle, though, so I was the one who the usher was saying he was going to kick me out. He was going
up and down the section telling everybody to sit down. Which is ridiculous.
Did he just want to see the game?
What?
No, there's probably one person in like the 21st row that was complaining to him to sit down. But what a bad bone to pick.
Yeah.
Out of all he goes to one Bucs game in one sporting event that for the teams that he covers over the last 6 months, and he's got a bone to pick with you on that.
Do you think that was just his way of like kind of humble bragging that he was at opening night, like that he was actually in the building for opening night?
I think he just wanted to make sure that we knew that he actually was going to a game, because I don't think he went to a single Brewer playoff game. I don't know if he went to a Brewers game this entire season.
Yeah. And you would think like he's like the kind of guy who would be like the social media. He'd be like in the mix, in the crowd. Like
totally.
No, I think I did see him there. Like he'd be like interviewing people at Brewers games.
He did that one time to start the year, and we just played those clips throughout the season every time the Cubs came to town. Yeah, it was one.
Oh, that was actually 2 years
one
ago.
on
that
the man
old.
on the street about Craig Counsell. Yes,
that was old.
And Maddie just made it
look
like.
I went to other games though. We did that at other games, but that clip does get a lot of run. You're right about that.
Yeah,
that one's. I still worked at Madison
over the last 2 years. You've been to
Chris Middleton,
3 games.
Chris Middleton. Chris Middleton returned
so you went
that
to
night.
more games. You just never did any content at those games. Is that what we're saying?
Wow, I didn't realize this is a.
All right. See, there was a bone to pick, but let's just talk about the Chris Middleton return there. It was stunning to me,
awesome.
Just how perfect the night went, from all aspects of what you could have hoped for as a Bucs fan, because you really would have wanted the Bucs to win, and you really would have wanted the crowd to treat Chris the right way. You would have wanted Chris to show it in the right way. You would want the team to show the respect, which everything worked out. Chris played lovely basketball. He was gritty. He was in there guarding Giannis.
You can tell that Craig has been watching a lot of soccer when he describes it as lovely basketball.
Yeah.
That would be that's exactly how the announcers on Saturday morning.
Did you say good to see you, bro?
That was a lovely run there by
good to see you, bro.
Manchester City.
Brilliant. It was brilliant basketball played by Chris Middleton, and it reminded us all of just so many moments, right? Just seeing him do it on the court, and obviously the Bucs winning was great. The Bucs winning on Friday was great. We obviously can't, I have no inside information, so again, I can't predict things about games. All I could say is watch tonight's game. I think tonight is going to be. I'm so excited about this Bucs team. I don't know. I have not even heard of Kyle Kuzma. is thought to be active or not. He had the ankle after, in the Raptors game after Kevin Porter Jr. had the ankle that's going to put him out for multiple games in the Bucks' first game of the year. But what a fun and interesting and exciting team the Bucks are putting on the court. Cole Anthony, the second leading scorer in the second game.
I'm all in on him.
Yeah.
He's fun.
He's so fun. Now, I think the interesting thing is, I think we could have 10 different players who could be the second leading scorer on this team.
Yeah.
That's how they're constructed.
And
that's how it should be.
And I don't know if that's like in a game or cumulatively, but I think in a game, I'm saying like 10 different players could be the second leading scorer. I think there's maybe 3 or 4 candidates, though, to be it in general. And Gary Trent Jr. looks great. A.J. Green looks great. Like Ryan Rollins looked good, but you mentioned it. Cole Anthony is someone who a lot of people didn't know a ton about when the Bucks were able to get him. And he really ran that second unit in Orlando and did an incredible job with it. He's a great creative scorer. And what Doc Rivers is looking for him to do is become more than just a scorer and to show that he can, be a playmaker and that he could, he can rebound. And he did so much of that in a gritty road win. Is that a more NBA term than lovely?
I like lovely.
In a lovely road win over the Raptors on Friday night. But the Cavs without Darius Garland tonight, without Max Strus, who's out with the Jaden Reed injury.
Jaden Reed injury.
Yeah, I'm saying that's why to me it was so
fracture?
Yeah, the Jones fracture. That's why it was so impressive when I'd heard Jaden Reed was playing with it, because I knew Max Strus was going to be out at least 3 months with the same injury. And I just think it's interesting, right? Mobley's really good, but Giannis plays the same position. Jared Allen's really good, but Miles Turner just beat him in the postseason. Like, I don't know. Donovan Mitchell is an all-NBA player. But I'm excited to see this game tonight.
Bucks getting 6.5 points.
We don't need to talk about spreads.
Right.
Probably a good choice to stay away from that for you, Craig. I agree.
I'm just, yes, I like what they've done, and it's amazing how many people and how many times you've heard fans, pundits, different people talk about how this team needs to get younger, more athletic, and surround Giannis with shooters. And they finally did that. And then heading into the year, everybody's like, oh, well, the Bucks aren't, it's like they did what everybody thought they should do. And now they get to reap the rewards.
And they're playing fast, which is cool. And I think it'll just be interesting to see if this team can end up being like, the leading three-point shooting team, right? They're 5th in the NBA right now in points per game. We're 2 games in. But I think the real thing to look at is 3-point attempts, which they're trying to get up toward the top. So they've taken 42 threes a game. First place is 44, which is the Cavs, through 2 games. So they're right there in that mix. And last year they shot the 3-point ball as well as anyone in the NBA. They just didn't shoot it enough. So hopefully we'll see more of that tonight as the Bucks go to Cleveland. That game can be heard right here on ESPN Madison and in Milwaukee on WTMJ.
In Milwaukee on WTMJ.
Yep. Awesome. So that is coming up tonight, and you can catch that game at 5 o'clock. Weird start times for the Bucks, 2 games in a row on the road. This one not because of the World Series. Is this one because of the Browns, or?
I mean, it could be it lines up well for the Packers, but I don't think they would do that for that reason. But if you're a Wisconsin sports fan, it's nice to be able to watch the Bucks.
Yeah, I mean, the Browns are on the road in New England, so whatever reason it is,
it's a noon start.
Yeah, it's a 6 o'clock Eastern start in Cleveland, 5 o'clock Central. So pregame here on ESPN Madison at 4:30, and on WTMJ at 4:30.
It's streaming on the WTMJ app.
Indeed, we will talk Packers, Steelers, and who will be the better quarterback tonight as we continue at Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin.
This is Sunday Karma on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app. All day, every day. The Carbless talk and text line is open for you.
First off, there is not one team that's on the fringe that scares me.
800-990-3776. The Carbless talk and text line. This is more.
If only life had a remote control, you could pause or rewind. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Homer here with a message about 3 Pillar Senior Living Communities located on a serene setting along the Bark River on 300 gorgeous acres. 3 Pillar Senior Living Communities is a top-ranked full continuum community. Active adult, independent living, assisted living, memory care, skilled nursing, and rehab. 3 Pillars, the hands-down choice for you or your loved one. Been there. Know people who live there. They love it. You got to go to Dousman and see it in person. Get all the info on 3 Pillars at 3pillars.org.
The 24th annual A Novel event is coming. Sharp Literacy's yearly fundraiser will happen on October 28th from 5 to 8 p.m. at the Baird Center. Green Bay Packers all-time leading receiver and Super Bowl champion Donald Driver will be the featured guest and keynote speaker. Funds raised at A Novel event will support the delivery of Sharp's STEAM-based education program to thousands of K-3 through 5th grade students and educators across Milwaukee, Waukesha, and Racine. For tickets, visit sharpliteracy.org.
Shop the Pig! The new Piggly Wiggly Pig Points program is here, and earning rewards just got easier. Now you'll earn 10 Pig Points for every $1 you spend, and redeem those points on your favorite products right in the store. It's simple, it's rewarding, and it's all right here at your neighborhood Piggly Wiggly. So shop more, earn more, and save more, only at Piggly Wiggly. Sign up today at shopthepig.com.
Piggly Wiggly, shop the pig!
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Game Night, so for Events by Design. Events like appreciation parties and retreats can go a long way towards boosting morale and retaining top talent. Events by Design is your go-to creative partner for employee events that truly make an impact. They help leaders retain top talent by making their people feel seen, valued, and celebrated. The creative team at Events by Design does all the planning and production, making sure things not only look great, but also work. Make a smart investment in your culture today. Search online, Events by Design. They design, you party.
Hey everybody, this is Stephen Bauer, CEO of the Guest House of Milwaukee. You know, homelessness isn't just a number. It represents our neighbors and our community. At Guest House of Milwaukee, we've spent decades helping people find stability, housing, and hope. On Thursday, November 13th, we invite you to our gala, A Night of Hope and Dignity. It's a night to stand with those working to overcome homelessness and those who support them. Join us. Tickets are available at guesthouseofmilwaukee.org, and together we can change lives.
Homer here. Whether you're cheering from the stands or watching the game from your backyard, every fan knows great moments deserve great vibes. Swing into Higher Love Cannabis Company in Menominee, Michigan. Just across the Wisconsin border, they offer a full line of high-quality, clean-grain, certified CBD products designed to help you relax, recover, and recharge no matter the season. Higher Love is organically grown, locally owned, and proudly one of the best in the Midwest. Visit them in Menominee or explore the full CBD lineup at findhigherlove.com/CBD.
Bucks basketball is back, and it's time to play. There's nothing like the energy inside Fiserv Forum. The roar of the crowd, the freakish slam dunks, the buzzer-beating threes. Catch the Bucks at home against New York Tuesday, October 28th, and Golden State Thursday, October 30th. And with the addition of Miles Turner, this season is set to be electric. Get in on the action with a ticket plan that works for you. Don't miss a moment of the excitement. Get your seats now at bucks.com/tickets. That's bucks.com/tickets. Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Give me your biggest takeaway. One.
Oh, number one,
Yes.
with the bullet, it's not even close. Micah Parsons is the guy we thought he is.
On 94.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Savage. You play, I'm letting you have it.
This is Sunday Karma on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
And I know we said we were talking Packers Steelers, but real quick, I mean, have you looked ahead at this week? Who's coming to town?
It's Warriors one day, right?
Tuesday, the Knicks. Thursday, the Warriors. And then Saturday, a team with 3 Hall of Famers.
You love this stat. Do you want to try to guess who that is?
I'll tell you the team just to speed it up. The Sacramento Kings come to town.
Okay, so Russell Westbrook's there now.
Yes.
Who else plays? I have no idea who's on that team.
DeMar DeRozan.
3 Hall of Famers.
DeRozan's on that team too. That's right. Who's the third?
You're never going to guess the third.
I have no idea.
Dennis Schroeder.
Is he a Hall of Famer?
Yes. because of what he's done internationally.
Sure.
But with the Knicks and Warriors, I mean, this is a great week at Fiserv Forum. If you have not been to a Bucks game, I mean, you're talking about the team that, along with the Cavs, is seen as the best in the East on Tuesday, and then Steph Curry, who has been the best player. I mean, the NBA has just been so good. Like, I just happen to notice, like, in a fantasy thing, Steph is their number one ranked player, like, through the first, 4 days of the year.
Was that Thursday night, that overtime game?
The shot he hit to tie the game against Denver, and then they end up winning it. Steph has been just incredible, and Steph obviously is one of the largest draws in the NBA. So great week coming up at Fiserv Forum. But great night tonight, Sunday Night Football. All the hype around Jordan Love and how good he's been on Sunday Night Football against Aaron Rodgers for the first time. I think everyone feels like this game should be at Lambeau, right? Like, if this game was at Lambeau, what would the reaction be to Aaron Rodgers?
I think it would be a lot of applause.
I do too.
I think that people now, like, the hard feelings, it's easy when you see your ex go and, like, have a problematic relationship, and now it makes it easier to move on. Like, if he went to New York and tore it up there and had that same sort of attitude that he had, now he's been humbled a little bit.
Were either you at that Favre? Were either you at the Favre Vikings game?
I was not there, no.
I was not there either.
I remember it, though.
I don't remember a game ever that I've seen where a crowd has been that loud throughout the game. I mean, that was, I think that he had his trouble with the Jets, the way Rodgers had, but then he went to the Vikings. Right? Yeah. And he had engineered his way to the Vikings. I think Rodgers, especially, like, if he had dropped the I retire as a Packer, like, all that, like, I feel like people are over it. And I think also maybe the way he's treated Jordan Love, I think it just feels nicer, helps. Right? Like, you don't feel like they're trying to shove it up each other's. Like, they just want to win the game and maybe, obviously show that they're both super competitive guys.
He's the most important and celebrated Wisconsin athlete of the last 25 years. Like, in the
outside
2000s.
of Giannis, yes.
I don't know about that, actually.
Oh, come on.
I'm saying Wisconsin. Milwaukee, Giannis has been more transformational for Milwaukee.
Right, you're saying that Rodgers has more MVPs?
More MVPs. He won a Super Bowl for the team that more people in the state care about. Not talking about Milwaukee.
Yes.
But, like, the state of Wisconsin, Aaron Rodgers raised a generation of Alex Strohs, for better or worse.
Yeah.
And, like, was a transformational, exciting quarterback that, like, allowed that next generation.
Yeah, but you're saying okay. I will make a little argument against the word transformational as we continue. It's Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin.
You're listening to Sunday Karma on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Turn your driveway into the basketball court of your dreams with Precision Sports, Southeastern Wisconsin's dealer for Mega Slam, Ironclad, and Dominator hoop systems. From installation to customizable painted court lines, Precision Sports is a slam dunk. PrecisionSportsOnline.com.
I've been to my fair share of green and gold games, and the best way to get there is with AccuTrans Group. At Good Karma Brands and ESPN Milwaukee, we use AccuTrans Group to get our partners to and from Green Bay, and it's always first class. From stadiums to concerts and tailgates, your game day fun starts the moment you step on board. Sit back, relax, and let their professional chauffeurs handle the traffic while you enjoy the ride. AccuTrans Group is Milwaukee's premier ground transportation, available 24/7 with sedans, SUVs, limos, vans, and buses. Book today at AccuTransGroup.com.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
They treated me like family.
They're actually people that you can depend on.
They made me feel seen. They really treated me like I was a part of their family, a part of their team.
They ask how you're doing, how you're feeling.
They're just so welcoming and so sweet and kind.
It's like family. Caring about another member of the family.
If you've been injured, it costs you nothing to see if Gruber Law Offices can help.
Kyle Brust-Nortman's Ben Brust here for Grimal and Associates Insurance. They do what anyone with a growing family, like myself, does. Protect what matters most. Grimal and Associates specializes in coverage that's tailored exactly to you. Clients aren't just policies. They're part of their community. Personalized American Family Insurance back service, expert guidance, and genuine commitment. Grimal and Associates focuses on building trusted relationships and providing peace of mind. The same values they've had for over 30 years in the Milwaukee area. Connect with Grimal and Associates at teamgrimal.com.
It's
It's WTMJ's Debbie Lazaga for Comfort Awnings. I reclaim my outdoor space by having Comfort Awnings install a motorized retractable awning so I can enjoy the sun and get relief when I need it. Sensors are also available that detect strong winds and rain to extend or retract your awning. They even protect against UV radiation so you can safely enjoy the outdoors. Family owned and located in Burlington, Comfort Awnings expertly installs custom awnings that fit your home and style. Right now, you can receive a free motor for your automated awning with your order. Call 414-AWNINGS or visit comfortawnings.com.
At Heart of Canal Street, for over 30 years, our hearts have been set on making a difference for children in our community. Now through December 10th, we invite you to share your heart by playing the Canal Street Bingo game at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. Every time you play this special bingo game, you're helping to raise funds for children's charities in southeastern Wisconsin. Learn more at potawatomi.com/heart.
We all have someone we know or love that has been affected by some form of cancer.
No matter how well you love and support them and try to be there for them, you can never really know what a person is feeling after hearing the words, "You have breast cancer."
Only another person that has been through this experience can really understand what it feels like.
ABCD, After Breast Cancer Diagnosis, is a Milwaukee-based organization known around the world.
When someone calls ABCD, they are matched with a mentor who is a breast cancer survivor of similar age and has the same type of breast cancer who can provide hope when people need it the most.
Kessler's is excited to announce that we've designed 3 new Hope pendants to honor breast cancer patients, survivors, thrivers, and caregivers.
100% of the net proceeds, along with an additional donation from Kessler's, will support ABCD when you purchase the symbol of hope.
You can find a link with more information about ABCD, along with all 3 modern designs starting at just $75 in sterling silver and $598 in gold, online at KesslersDiamonds.com.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
That dog does not want to be petted.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Whether it's breaking Packers news, breaking Bucks news, or breaking Brewers news, we are Milwaukee's place for the biggest sports stories right when they happen on 94.5 ESPN and the ESPN Wisconsin app. You're listening to Sunday Karma on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Continue with Sunday Karma, where Greg said something blasphemous. The idea that Aaron Rodgers was more transformational than Giannis. Do you want to just take that back?
I think for the state of Wisconsin, you had Brett Favre, who brought the Packers back to Super Bowl glory. And then those early 2000s were like middling, right?
No. Brett Favre went to the conference championship.
2000s, and then
Brett Favre went to the conference championship
07?
against the Giants.
Yes, in
that
07,
home game. Yes,
and then all of a sudden, Aaron Rodgers for the biggest team in the state, not Milwaukee. For Milwaukee, Giannis's transformation.
I'm saying Rodgers was great. I'm just saying he wasn't transformational. He just continued what was going on.
Sport in the country, for the most important team in the state with the Green Bay Packers, the man won 4 MVPs and he won a Super Bowl.
I'm not arguing that he wasn't. You could argue more impactful for the state.
These cocky Packers fans like an Alex
who
Stroh,
don't appreciate Jordan Love. I agree.
That seemed like a shot.
I agree. I'm just saying Giannis was transformational.
It's good to be cocky,
the Bucks were at a place where people didn't know if the team was going to stay in Milwaukee, if they were going to have a building to go from 15-67 to winning a championship. Giannis was more transformational. If you want to say Rodgers is more decorated because Giannis has 2 MVPs and Rodgers has 4 or whatever. Like, I'm not going to argue that. And that he went to 2 championships and Giannis at this point has been to 1. I'm not going to argue that. But in terms of transformational and actually more impactful, Giannis far more impactful than Aaron Rodgers.
Globally, sure.
No.
Like,
in Wisconsin.
In terms of like,
in Wisconsin.
I'm saying globally, you get Wisconsin
I'm saying in Wisconsin. In Wisconsin, Giannis more impactful because of where the Bucks were and where he brought them to. Rodgers continued, and again, you could argue Rodgers more MVPs, like all that. I'm not going to fight. I'm just saying what Giannis inherited compared to what Rodgers inherited, I don't think
he
you could argue that.
He transformed his franchise more.
Yes.
I would agree with that.
Exactly.
We can find common ground there.
Yes, we can.
That was good.
Speaking of, we did say we were going to discuss the Aaron Rodgers thing. So are you surprised how good Aaron Rodgers has been this year?
No, not at all. Like, I think a lot of us talked about it before the year. I think that ultimately he's getting within a system where he feels like he doesn't have to do everything himself. It's his second year removed from that Achilles injury, which I think is a big deal, especially when you're in your 40s. He still is a little bit of a statue back there, but he is doing what you would expect him to do. And for a quarterback who is as smart, aware, knows everything that's happening on the field around him, he's doing what I think you could have expected him to do. He's not in the MVP conversation. At that point, I would be like, oh, my goodness.
No, he's not. And he hasn't been that great, but 14 touchdowns, 5 picks is really good. Single-digit sacks, when we say
5 picks? That's a lot for him.
Yeah.
Well, but that's actually not a bad thing for him.
It's not.
And they weren't the 2 he threw the other night, one of them had nothing to do with him. One of them was a bad pick, right? Like with interceptions, again. But if you go to my stat of QBR, he's a 54.4, which means he's been above average, but hasn't been an incredible quarterback this year. His quarterback rating is 1 over 100, which is really good, right? So Jordan Love, Aaron Rodgers, who do you think's the better quarterback today?
Just today.
Today.
I think it's going to be Aaron Rodgers.
You mean tonight? Like what?
I'm not saying tonight. No. I'm saying for the 2025 season.
Jordan Love.
Okay, Jordan Love. Right. Okay, yeah.
Yes.
So when you think about the decision the Packers had to make, they've gotten it right.
It was the right decision, yeah.
Because
no matter how this game plays out, nothing's going to dispel that.
Because if you believe in 2025 already, Jordan Love's the quarterback, and he's going to be, and you don't feel that not having Aaron Rodgers cost you a Super Bowl. Do you feel that way? Do you feel like 2 years ago, San Francisco? Because Jordan Love was as good as anyone in that postseason run. It's tough to argue that Rodgers could have been
No, I think they made
any
the right
better,
decision.
right?
I mean, that was obviously the Achilles year for Rodgers, too, which you can't predict how that changes if he was the quarterback. But, yeah, no, they made the right call.
Oh, Greg, are you thinking maybe they win?
No, I also think it's an unfair narrative, though, of like, if he had just hung on a little longer. What they had done to that point in their rebuild and youth movement was not what they did after he left. Like, they hit on guys after he left where they did not hit on guys when he was here, right? Like, they did not arm him with what he needed in order to win a Super Bowl for those last 2 MVP seasons.
Right.
And then all of a sudden he left. Now, you could say that it gave him more flexibility and they had more of a plan because they were but it wasn't like, this youth movement was
but they're still,
in play.
they weren't trading for Micah Parsons when he was here.
Correct.
And it's not like Jordan Love's on a rookie contract anymore.
Correct.
So,
And they weren't drafting first-round wide receivers and arming that offense with young, talented playmakers. I mean, it was Amari Rodgers was like the guy who came in and busted, and 4th-round draft picks like MVS and, so many others.
Al Lazard was the number 1 receiver his final year.
Palermo's picks coming up, but first let's hear a little bit about Door County Distillery.
Door County Distillery, locally produced, handcrafted, award-winning spirits made locally, of course, in Door County. It's my favorite time of the year. It's bourbon season. They've got their delicious bourbon. They've also got their 27-time gold medal award-winning single malt whiskey, if that's more up your alley. Also good in your old fashions. Available statewide. Check out their website, doorcountydistillery.com. Find the retailer nearest you, as well as a huge list of unique cocktail recipes. Again, that's their website, doorcountydistillery.com.
More Sunday Karma coming up on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app. All day, every day. The Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you.
First off, there is not one team that's on the fringe that scares me.
800-990-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks? Do you feel neglected or unloved? If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Al-Anon and Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
It's the final days of the fall trade-up event at Cunis. With winter on the horizon, trade up now to a new safe and reliable vehicle. We're offering top dollar for trades. We'll do whatever it takes to get you into a great new ride. At your nearby Milwaukee Metro Cunis locations in Oak Creek, Greenfield, and Hope Chevrolet on West Metro Auto Mall. Don't miss the last 2 weeks of huge discounts on the most popular cars, trucks, and SUVs from Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC. Shop over 600 pre-owned vehicles under $20,000 and over 150 under $10,000. Plus, you can buy 3 tires and get 1 for $1 just in time for winter.
I'm Brian Bohm, General Manager of Cunis of Oak Creek.
And I'm Bill Eater, General Manager of Cunis of Greenfield.
We would like to invite you to take advantage of these great monthly specials.
And remember that your vehicle will be covered by our exclusive No Fear Lifetime Powertrain Warranty, included with new and qualified pre-owned purchases.
Call or stop in today for your VIP appointment.
Don't miss the final days of the fall trade-up event. Start your search online at CunisMKE.com.
Fans, don't let dirt and road grime bench your car this October baseball season. Step up to the plate with Tsunami Express Car Wash, where every visit delivers the MVP shine. With unlimited washes, fast lane access, and free vacuums, you can keep your ride looking like a champion all season long for less than $1 a day. And with 7 Milwaukee area locations, including New Berlin, it's easy to score big no matter where you're headed. Join the winning team today at TsunamiExpress.com. That's Tsunami Express Car Wash. Wash, chill, repeat.
I'm Pat Dunphy of Cannon & Dunphy, and I'm reaching out to you today not as an attorney, but as chair of the board of directors of Guest House. It's an organization that's been dedicated to dealing with the root causes of homelessness in Milwaukee for over 40 years. Its mission is to treat the homeless with dignity and help them rebuild their lives. So help us help the homeless by investing in the Guest House and the Milwaukee community. And also consider attending our gala on Thursday, November 13th.
Your path to a degree should fit your life, not the other way around. At Lakeland University, you can personalize every part of your college experience. With a main campus in Sheboygan, evening classes across the state, and flexible online options, you choose how and when you learn. Just graduated high school, changing careers, juggling work and life, they've got options for you. You can even earn credit for experience you already have, or for the work you're doing now, saving time and money. Start customizing your future today at lakeland.edu/ESPN. Lakeland University. Experience it your way.
The grill is hot, the crowd is loud, and the flavor? That's all Coop's Mustard. Hey, it's Alex Stroh. For over 125 years, Coop's has been the MVP of game day eats with 14 bold flavors that make every brat, burger, and pretzel a championship bite. Because Coop's isn't your ordinary mustard. It's extraordinary mustard. The kind that turns tailgates into traditions and touchdowns into taste bud celebrations. This football season, bring the bold, bring the flavor, bring Coop's. Coop's Mustard, spreading the love since 1897.
NBA fans, the race for the Emirates NBA Cup is on.
Let the games begin.
30 teams will start, but only 8 will advance.
Oh, he puts it in!
And only one champion will capture the cup.
Let's go!
To finish first, they'll have to put the pedal to the metal. Who will capture the cup? Well, let's see what happens on the court.
Basketball is back!
Emirates NBA Cup group play begins Friday on Prime.
Hey, it's Rich Eisen. Tune into The Rich Eisen Show weekdays from 12 to 2 right here on 94.5 ESPN.
You're listening to ESPN Milwaukee on 94.5 ESPN and the ESPN Wisconsin app. It's that time.
Yes, it's finally here.
Craig makes his picks of the week.
You can bet the house on it.
Picks of the week on Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin. Presented by Palermo's Pizza, Wisconsin's hometown pizza.
Can't wait to see what happens next.
On ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
And picks also this week brought to us by our good friends at Gruber Law Offices, where it's one call, that's all. Nationally recognized, family-owned, and engaged in the things you are. That's why the teams you love, the philanthropic organizations you love, the community events you love, you always see Gruber Law Offices supporting. You see Gruber Law Offices T-shirts as much as you see any other garment in the state of Wisconsin, because Gruber Law Offices is always giving back. That's why if you or loved one's ever injured, remember, it's one call, that's all with Gruber Law Offices. All right, it's time to get into our picks. And by the way, Sunday Night Football is so tailor-made for Palermo's Pizza that I think the 325 games are awesome also because you do them during halftime of the game. I think you got to do it before the game, right? With the Sunday Night Football. I guess the determination is pizza for dinner or is it not? If you have something else for dinner, then you make the Palermo's pizza at halftime of the Sunday Night Football game.
Or like the late night snack.
Yeah. It's like the halftime snack. Like you're just nervous eating, or you're excited eating because they're somehow up 21-3, but you're still nervous because Aaron Rodgers is on the other side. Palermo's pizza, whether it's Screamin' Sicilian, Stranger Things pizza, Connie's, or any of the other brands, you're supporting Wisconsin when you support Palermo's Pizza. Let's get into it. Our picks. Let's Scalzo, you have someone you want to start with? I love the big favorites big this week, by the way.
I kind of do too. I like Atlanta at home against Miami. Cover 5 lines minus 7.5. Now the line has moved down to 6.5 in real life, which is an interesting thing when you're doing cover 5. The biggest difference this week is on cover 5, Chicago is getting 6.5 points. Well, in real life, they're only getting 2.5 points because
Lamar Jackson
is out. And so now,
Strophy, what are you reporting? What are you reporting about Tua here?
Tua Tagovailoa woke up with an illness that caused his left eye to swell shut, and he is playing through it. I just saw a video on Twitter of his left eye. It's like huge.
I'm with you on Atlanta. I'm also with you, I assume, on Indianapolis. I think they've looked unstoppable this year. I think they're a cover 5 juggernaut against Tennessee today.
Yep, I agree. I like New England minus 7.5 against Cleveland. I think Cleveland's
defense. That's a really good defense.
Their defense at home, though, is much better than their defense on the road. I think the Patriots this week at home, they're feeling themselves. The thing is if the Patriots score like 24 points, they're going to cover because Cleveland can't score. Dylan Gabriel hasn't found it, and they feel a little bit like they're kind of, struggling. I also like Houston at home against San Francisco. Good defense. Only played at home twice this year. They're 2-4.
Their offense has been bad. And no Nico Collins? I mean, where's the offense going to come from?
I think it can come.
Marks?
It can come on the ground, but C.J. Stroud is better than people. They've underperformed so far.
Their offensive line stinks.
San Francisco, to me, is overperformed. Houston is underperformed. This feels like a week where it could be a regression.
Yeah, I could see that. That one just seems hard. Like the Bengals over the Jets just feels easy to me. It's a Joe Flacco revenge game.
Of sorts.
The owner of the Jets was told Justin Fields that he shouldn't start because he's bad, and now he has to start because Tyrod Taylor's out.
The Bengals' run defense is amongst the worst in the league, and you've got Breece Hall and Justin Fields.
Who is active today. Breece Hall is active after being questionable. This would be fun if Fields and Breece Hall ran roughshod on the Bengals. That would be fun after everything you heard about with the Jets, the only team without a win in the NFL. I love Kansas City on Monday night. I was such a big Commanders guy coming into this year, and they just have not been who I thought they were.
They are what the Texans were last year, right?
Yeah,
they had that big pop with the rookie quarterback and a pretty strong step back.
But Terry McLaurin comes back, and so maybe this is the Chiefs' time to lose because every time a team looks good in the NFL, that's when they lose, and this is now when people like Strophe are like, hey, Chiefs, best team in the league, 4-3. Anytime you say that about anyone, be it the Lions, be it the Buccaneers, be it the Bills, like anytime you say a team is the best team in the NFL this year, they go out and get beat.
I just have more faith in Mahomes and Reed than just about anybody else in the league.
It is well earned. It just this year, whether it's the Eagles, the Buccaneers, the Lions, the Rams, it was like, oh, the Rams are the best team. Then they go lose to Mac Jones and the 49ers at home. Patriots, best team in the league?
I don't think they're the best team in the league, but Drake May's good.
Drake May is good.
And that's the only thing that Patriots fans wanted to see.
Drake May is good.
Yes.
All right, everyone is already giving their thoughts. Strophe, you have the Packers losing.
I have the Packers winning and covering.
Yes, you and I both think the Packers win tonight and are just clearly the better team, and the only way they lose is if they self-implode. All right.
And I think as much as people are like, Rodgers, this is his revenge game, LaFleur wants to beat Rodgers.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
Which is what worries me.
Bucks Cavs tonight at 5. Bucks at home, Fiserv Forum, Tuesday and Thursday night for the Knicks and Warriors. Stay healthy, stay together, survive today, thrive tomorrow, don't settle. You've been listening to Sunday Karma on ESPN Wisconsin. Strophe, send us out.
Peace.
With Progressive, it's easy to reach customer service with our app, website, chat, or by phone. Because when getting